It's Paul Marsh, and I'm delighted to say that I've been joined by Maria from One Night in Nashville. Maria, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm really, really good. Um, I love talking to you. I know we've spoken before. I love talking to you. I love talking about country music, and I love the fact that it has become so big and so popular. I've got written down here that it's really taken off in the UK in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's gone stratospheric in the last couple of years, hasn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. It's just been amazing to see because we started this in 2015 and it was tiny music venues and it was a real tough sell, but we just had like a small core fan base that would turn up to the shows every quarter. And then we slowly started expanding it. And then you're just seeing sort of the wheels start to turn and things get bigger and bigger. And obviously the venues that we started playing in became bigger, and you're like, you kind of was stepping up, going, "Oh, is it going to sell?" And then it would sell out. So it's just phenomenal to see sort of country music everywhere now, isn't it?
So you're in Portsmouth on the 8th of February at Portsmouth Guildhall. You
Yeah.
are also touring all over the country. This is not like a one-off show. This is not a small show. This is a big, big thing that you do. I know
Yeah.
it's an obvious question, but let's go with it. What can people expect from your show?
Just a real good night's entertainment of country music, whether that's Alan Jackson or Dolly Parton or Little Big Town, Lady A, to your TikTok country hits that you see in the new generation of country fans coming in. We do like a little medley of the TikTok hits, from Stick Season to Morgan Wallen to Beyonce. People swear at me for that one, but you kind of seeing young fans, 9-year-old girls with the grandparents and stuff, and we kind of cater for everybody, but it's a real good entertaining show. People are on the feet all night dancing and having a real good two-step with us.
Now, when you create your One Night in Nashville set list, how does it work? Because I'm sure that you have your favorites and there's the
Yeah,
stuff that you love to play. And then you obviously mentioned another song there that, we may not like that much, but we know it has to go in the playlist. So
yeah.
how do you create that perfect playlist?
I think obviously, like you say, there's the core set and the foundations, that the songs that we just will never not do, like "Man, I Feel Like a Woman." We can't not do that. It's just one of our staples, and like Lady Antebellum, and some real good classics like Dolly and Kenny. But then obviously what we see throughout the year is songs just blow up, like Ella Langley and Riley Green. "You Look Like You Love Me," and we threw that in last year, and just people go wild for it,
Yeah.
at festivals. So we kind of just we have our foundation, and then we try and shake it up each year with some new switch outs, like a different Luke Combs song, that sort of thing. And then obviously we just keep our ear to the ground. We're always listening to country music radio anyway, so we know what's kind of blown up. And I'm always on TikTok, so I kind of try and incorporate the things that I feel will resonate, or that they resonate with me anyway. And I feel that they will resonate with our audience as well, because I feel like I am one of you. I'm a massive country music fan myself, so.
Do you rotate the older hits, so the stuff like from the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s? Do you rotate some of those so that you're not playing the
Yeah.
same stuff all the time?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So if we're doing a Johnny and June song, next time we might just do Johnny Cash, Folsom Prison instead of Jackson, that sort of thing. So we do rotate them in and out. But there's certain ones that you just think the minute we don't do them, like people will be like, "Oh, you didn't do it," And so we kind of stick to a few core ones every year, and some of those are real classics as well. So. But yeah, and it's sad to let go also of some other songs. This is sort of real off piste, but we did last year in our show, the Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga song, and
Oh,
I
yeah. Fantastic.
loved it. Some people would say it's not country, but it's from a film about a country music
Yeah.
star.
Yeah.
And they make it, and people associate it with country music, and people loved it. But it's sad to say goodbye to that one this year. But there's some other songs that I just feel have leveled it up a little bit this year, and we really can't wait to perform them.
Well, it's funny because I will say I'm not a singer at all. I enjoy doing karaoke, but I can't sing. I can't sing for love nor money. And I did karaoke last year, and I did Garth Brooks' "Friends in Low Places." And the girl who was running it, I reckon, she was in her 20s. I'm not sure how old, but she was in her 20s, and she said something along the lines to me oh my God, I forgot this song existed. And I was like, wow, what a different level of country fan that's
Yeah.
to me, that's a top five all-time classic.
Yeah, yeah, and it's funny though, isn't it? Because some people just don't know that it exists in the first place who are now country fans, and
Yeah.
that's the beauty of this is that you can be introduced to those songs, through a show like One Night in Nashville, where you've come because you like Beyonce, or you've come because you like Little Big Town, and then you get to hear new songs, new old songs is what I mean, but the new to you kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's amazing, isn't it, really, to see? Because I'm always fascinated with regards to what brought people into country music, because I know what brought me into it, and it's been a lifelong love of it. So for new fans who are sort of my age, for instance, I'm always curious as to what now brought them in.
Hmm. When you are putting your set list together, are you conscious about the old stuff and the new stuff? Because I can't imagine if you played Folsom Prison and then you put it next to Old Town Road. I can't
Yeah.
imagine that that would sort of go down well. So that you obviously have to be very careful about how you structure that.
Absolutely, yeah. I think the thing is with the show, it has to sort of have dynamics and it has to sort of raise up and then dip down a little bit and pick back up again towards the end. And I'm conscious of that, but I'm conscious of like, we'll do Jackson and then we'll do like Old Alabama and things like that. So you're kind of slowly eking away from the classics to 90s country. And it works really well. I don't feel that there's ever a uncomfortable moment. And I think
Right.
the audience that we're seeing, they kind of appreciate both the classics and the current ones. It's I think if we look back 10 years ago, the sort of expectation would have been weighted more towards the classics.
Yes.
Now people know to expect a good cross section of everything really, and they just have an amazing time, which is awesome to see. They
You
just they
meant
absolutely
you mentioned Ella Langley, You Look Like You Love Me. Like
yeah.
when you're listening to the radio and you Spotify and all the other bits and pieces like that, is there a certain song that you hear and you just go, "Oh, we have to play that"?
Absolutely, and that is one of them. It's blown up on TikTok, and even from sort of a music industry perspective of like how the songs are now marketed to people, they're hearing that small clip. Like back in the day when we were doing radio plugin for my music and what have you. They get a full 3 minutes 30 to fall in love with your song. They literally get that 10-second clip now, don't they?
Crazy.
On TikTok, it is. It really is. So yeah, there's I think it's amazing because TikTok is a great platform for artists to directly interact with audiences and really grow your music organically. It's just interesting, isn't it? But I'm embracing it all. I think it's wonderful.
Let's swear when it comes to country music. Let's mention the B word. Let's talk Beyonce. Where do you stand on this? So obviously Beyonce with the country album and Texas Hold'em. Um,
Yeah,
obviously, like we say, anything that introduces people to country music is a good thing. But then
yeah.
alongside that, you then are getting your pink, sparkly plastic cowboy hats and bits and pieces like that. Yeah. So where do you stand on that whole debate with what Beyonce has done, bringing it even more into the mainstream?
I mean, any sort of light shone on country music is a wonderful thing, as you've said, because that introduction might just make them fall in love with Dolly Parton and Luke Combs and everything in between, and that's amazing in itself. Personally, I'm not a massive fan of that album, but I think the thing is with her is she kind of does her thing on any genre that she wants to, doesn't she? Really, it's not for us to sort of say oh, what is or is we as country music fans, we love what we love. And for me, country music has always been a song that grabs you by the heartstrings, not anything that's sort of poppy or no, I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but you know what I mean. It's kind of like that's what pulls me into country music. But even within the country music genre, there's songs that feel more hip hop and R and
Yep.
B that
Yep.
I'm not particularly a fan of. Like Morgan Wallen, is not really somebody that I gravitate to, but I absolutely adore Chris Stapleton. So even within the country music genre itself, you do have sort of opposing opinions, and you're seeing that even more so now. So who are we to say?
Well, I was just thinking the one artist that I can think of that. So I think you had two absolutely huge, well-established artists in 2024 that
Yeah.
released country albums. One was received very badly, one was received very well. Obviously, Beyonce to the real country fan was not received very well at all. However, Post Malone released a
Oh,
fantastic album with F1.
and yeah, it's absolutely amazing. And again, that's probably one of my album of the years from last
Mm,
year, I would say. It's really well crafted, but each song, and the fact that he had such amazing collaborators
yeah.
as well, it just felt really well done. And it didn't feel unauthentic. It just felt real. And I think that's the thing with country and country music fans when they say it's not country. I think what they're saying is it doesn't feel real to me as far as country values. And the only one positive I'll say, well, there's many, isn't there? But like I say, we're now seeing whole families, whole generations. There's a grandfather with a granddaughter on his shoulders at a festival, and that's the person we sang, 30 seconds of Texas Hold'em in a medley about TikTok songs being big in country music now. Two, we sang that to her, So if someone can't appreciate that for 30 seconds, then just think about the little girl who was on the shoulders of the grandfather who are both enjoying that moment together. And they might also now fall in love with Dolly Parton. You can't
Um,
please everyone.
No, no, and that's it. You can't please everybody. So,
So,
like you say, if the younger generation can maybe be introduced to a bit of Dolly and Kenny and Johnny and June and everybody else, maybe we
yeah.
can just put up with a little bit of Beyonce for just a short while.
That's it, and I think the thing is now with the internet is you're seeing everybody's opinion online in your face, whereas people would just keep it to themselves before, wouldn't they? Now they
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
30
we don't.
seconds of Beyonce and they think that your whole show is Beyonce.
So, Portsmouth Guildhall, 8th of February. It could be people's first night out of 2025. If there's anybody listening right now, and I'm sure there's not, but if there's anybody listening right now who is on the fence about whether to come and see you or not, why should they come and see you?
I just think you'll have a fantastic night. It's all about having a good time. Not only the energy of the show is very entertaining and engaging, but the quality of the musicianship is there. And that's always something that's been at the top of our priorities, the quality of the musicianship, the way that the songs are delivered, and the authenticity of it all, is where I really feel that we sort of stand out from everybody else, I would say, for sure. But we just love what we do. We love this genre. We've been grafting at it for years and years. And, what we see, just look at our testimonials. People are like, it's the best night of my life, which is really lovely to hear. It's amazing to hear that after so long of doing this. I just think you'll have a great time.
One Night in Nashville is coming to Portsmouth Guildhall on the 8th of February. Maria, thank you so much for talking to me and enjoy the rest of your day.
No problem. Thanks for having us.